In this video, I'll show you how to make a Word document accessible. Let's use this document as an example. As you can see, it looks alright. Most people who can perceive visual information should have no problem reading or finding information in it. But it's actually not fully accessible. We've got a good start, the font size large enough for reading, there is enough space between lines, it's not cluttered, and the content is organized in headings, subheadings, and bullet points. However, people who use screen readers or who have less than perfect sight or vision would have some problems. First, let's look at what the accessibility checker does. You can find it here in the Review tab under Check Accessibility. If you have an older version of Word, you might need to look for the accessibility checker under File, Info, Check for Issues, Check Accessibility. As you can see, I'm seeing some errors, so missing alternative text in this picture, the image is also not in line, and some hard to read text contrast, which is this red text right here. However, the accessibility checker doesn't know, for example, that this document needs some proper headings. So that's why it's a useful tool and it's great to use to check your work, but you cannot just rely on it. Also, if you keep this option checked, keep accessibility checker running while I work, you will also see the notifications here at the bottom. Let's fix the headings. For that, we go back to the home ribbon and then have a look at the styles palette. Right now, this text is all in normal, what is called normal style. So we want that to be not title, because that's not a navigable style. We want it to be heading 1. And yes, it makes it smaller. We're going to change that later. And then the next one is going to be heading 2. And I have more. This is also a heading 2. And this is also a heading 2. And then the ones underneath heading 2 are heading 3. If not all the desired styles show up here, expand the styles palette, select options, and then select style to show all styles. And then you should be able to find all the styles in here. The default styles don't look great, but you can change them any way you want. So, for example, the title, I can make it bigger and centered, and maybe I want it black and bold. Where's the black? Here's the black. Okay, and then for heading 2, we can change that to be maybe a different font. So let's use this one. And then color, I wanted the blue. That's fine. Now you can see also the spacing between headings is not great, so we can change that as well. So let's make it a little bit, maybe 6 before and 12 after. Okay, now how do I change all of them? There are 2 ways of doing that. So either you do it like I just did, like this, and then select it, and then go back to the styles, right click on heading 2, and then update heading 2 to match selection. And always change all of them. Or another way to do it, I'll do it right now for heading 3. You can go to heading 3 and right click and click modify. And now you can make it anyway from here. So let's say I want it 14 and I want it black and I want it bold. And here you can also choose if you want to do this only in this document or you want to keep it like this forever unless you change it. So like make it your new template. And then you can choose new documents based on this template. I'm not going to do this now. So for now, I'll just keep it for this document and hit OK. And now it's changed all my heading 3 to be the way that I designed it. It is also recommended to use properly formatted bullet points and lists. So for example, this list here is fine, but the one here is not, right? So it's just set up as a regular paragraph and then I added a number. So it's better to just use the proper setting. So going to paragraph and numbering, and this has turned it into a proper list. One more thing you can do to increase accessibility in terms of structure is to make sure that you don't have any unnecessary lines. So sometimes people use lines in order to increase the spacing between sections. For example, the way that I have here an extra line. What you want to do is to get rid of the line and then go to the style, modify, and you have more options here under format. Let's choose paragraph. And then we can add as much as we want before. So let's say we have something like 24 before and maybe 6 points after. And then it's changing all my headings to be like that. Let's move on to images. The main problem with images is that they need alt text. So in my case, I have this screenshot here. You can right click on it and choose edit alt text. If your version of Word doesn't have this option, you can go to format picture and you will find alt text in there. So just edit alt text. You can see that you have the option to mark it as decorative. In my case, it's not decorative, so I'm going to write screenshot of canvas menu. Okay, now I can close it. Another problem that the checker is actually telling me, so if we open this again, it's telling me image or object not in line. So what does this mean? Because I wrapped the text here, this is causing problems for screen reader. So what you want to do, again, right click and then go to wrap text and make it in line with text. And then yeah, that may not look exactly how you like it, but it's just much easier to navigate. Okay, let's look at colors. So the accessibility checker noticed that my text here does not have enough contrast. To fix that, you could use one of the many online tools where you can test different color combinations, or you can simply use the checker to fix your color. So if we open this again and open this menu, font color, I can choose here a different one. Let's go with the darker red and see what happens. As you can see now, the error disappeared. So this is an easy way to correct that. All right, according to the accessibility checker, I don't have any more issues, but that is not true. We do have a couple more issues, and one of them is the link. So the links need to have descriptive text. So what we want is to actually add the title of that resource and add it as a proper link. So right click, link, and paste the link in there. And now we have an accessible link. Another thing that we need to check is the table. Tables can cause many problems. So this one is actually a good table because it's simple. It doesn't have nested cells or merged cells or things like that. Let's see if the header row is set up properly. So we'll just select the row, right click and table properties, go to the row tab, and it looks here that it's not set up properly. So we don't want the row to break, and we want to repeat as header row at the top of the page. And it will help people with screen readers navigate the data more easily. And the last thing that we want to fix for this document is to give the file a title. So for that we go to File, Info, and here there's a title field. So we can just give it a proper title. And that's it. These are the basics of Word accessibility. Thanks for watching.